Jimin finally opened his voice. His confession hits Jungkook, the end of Jikook. Crying face, broken heart. The news that shook the Korean entertainment world again came from two big names that have long been the center of public attention: BTS's Jimin and Jungkook. After weeks of silence and endless speculation, Jimin finally opened up in an exclusive interview that left millions of soldiers around the world holding their breath. His words were not only shocking, but also touching, making many fans wonder, is this the end of the beautiful story between Jimin and Jungkook that they have believed so deeply? The interview was conducted in a simple room in the HYB building, with a warm atmosphere but full of emotional tension. Jimin, with a gentle look and a smile that he tried to maintain, seemed to be preparing himself to say something that he had been holding back for a long time. When the interviewer asked about his relationship with Jungkook, a question he had avoided all along, Jimin was silent for a long time, staring into the camera with eyes that looked a little teary. There are things that can't be explained in words, even to someone you trust so much, Jimin said slowly, his voice trembling. I never intended to hurt anyone, but sometimes distance is needed so that we can understand how deep a feeling really is. The sentence seemed to break the long silence that had wrapped the relationship between the two. Many immediately interpreted that Jimin was talking about Jungkook, someone who's been with him since they were both teenagers, treading BTS's long journey from the ground up to becoming a worldwide phenomenon. But this time, his tone contained a different feeling, not only love, but also hurt and sincerity. As soon as the interview aired, social media exploded. The hashtags #JiminSpeaks, #JikookTruth, and #StayStrongJungkook became global trending topics within minutes. Army around the world reacted with a variety of emotions. Some cried, some were confused, and some felt that this was the pinnacle of honesty that Jimin had been hiding behind his sweet smile. A few hours after the interview, Jungkook suddenly appeared on the Weverse platform. Without many words, he wrote only one short sentence: I just wish him happiness, whatever his choice. That simple sentence made the virtual world silent instantly. Many suspect that Jungkook already knew about the content of Jimin's interview beforehand, and that his remarks were a form of acceptance, or perhaps a tender farewell. One Army member wrote on social media, Jungkook's sentence was like someone letting go with love. There was no anger, only wounds that he hid behind a smile. Another added, if this is really the end, then this is the most beautiful and most painful ending we have ever seen. But apparently, the story does not stop there. The next day, a staffer close to the duo revealed that after the interview aired, Jimin and Jungkook briefly met secretly in one of their old rehearsal rooms, a place where they used to train together before debuting. They don't talk much, the staffer said. But from the way they looked at each other, you could tell that the two of them still cared about each other in a deep way. Jimin, according to the report, had tears in his eyes while saying, I never want you to think I'm walking away because I don't care. I'm just afraid that this feeling makes us lose our way. Jungkook, who was sitting in front of him, just nodded slowly. He didn't say much, but his eyes showed something stronger than words. He approached Jimin, patted him on the shoulder, and said quietly, I understand, Young. I know you always fight your own way. The moment was so emotional that even the staff who watched from afar burst into tears. No cameras, no script, no audience, just two hearts trying to understand each other in the storm of world expectations. After the meeting, Jimin posted a message on Instagram against the background of a soft orange twilight sky. He wrote, some stories don't need an ending. It's enough to know that we once walked the same path, and that's enough for me. The message again shook the hearts of the fans, as it seemed to be a sign that Jimin chose to close his emotional chapter in a way full of meaning and maturity. Jungkook, on the other hand, seemed to be channeling his feelings through music. In one of her new recording sessions, she is heard singing a very personal verse. If I have to let you go so you can fly higher, then let me be the sky that sees you from afar. Many are convinced that the song is an open letter he addressed to Jimin. HYB made no official comment on the relationship, saying only that the members are focusing on their personal activities. However, the silence from the agency is only making the public speculate, especially since Jimin and Jungkook are known to have such a close relationship, not only on screen, but also in real life. On one occasion, RM even said that Jimin and Jungkook understand each other in a way that no one else can explain. The statement has now become a subject of discussion again, as it seems to confirm that their relationship has gone beyond the boundaries of ordinary friendship. For many soldiers, the story of Jimin and Jungkook is not just about love or rumors, but about the closeness of two souls who grew up together in the pressure and light of such a harsh world. They are a reflection of struggle, loyalty, and genuine affection, something that is difficult to find in the modern entertainment industry. Now, although Jimin has spoken and Jungkook has answered with meaningful silence, many fans believe that this is not really the end. Because in every smile, every look, and every song they sing, there is always a small piece of their story that will live on in the hearts of millions. At the end of his interview, before the camera stopped recording, Jimin looked down and whispered quietly, almost inaudible, "Sometimes loving someone means knowing when to stop holding back." And perhaps, behind that silence, Jungkook, elsewhere, is staring at his phone screen, smiling a little, then whispering, "I will never cease to understand you, Jimin." Broken heart, revolving hearts. After those emotional words spread widely, the world seemed to stop for a moment. Not only fans, but also the media around the world have noticed the development of the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook BTS, which has now entered a new chapter, not just about love, but about understanding, maturity, and unspoken separation. But who would have thought that, behind their silence, there is an even deeper story that has not yet been revealed. A few days after Jimin's interview aired, reports surfaced from one of the Korean media outlets that Jungkook had turned down some of his previously scheduled public dates. Staff who worked with him revealed that Jungkook chose to take personal time, something he rarely does. He said he wanted to calm his mind, the source said. Later, he spent more time in the studio alone, playing the piano or writing songs without talking much. The atmosphere around HYBE changed. The staff noticed a different energy, as if something had settled in the air. While Jimin can be seen keeping a smile on camera and appearing professional as usual, those who know him well know that the smile this time feels more fragile than usual. In one of the backstage moments of the brand event he attended, Jimin sat alone, staring at his cell phone for a long time. A staffer passing by saw his phone screen displaying an old photo of him and Jungkook in the training room, both laughing with their hands still covered in training sweat. Jimin rubbed the screen gently, as if caressing the memories that are difficult to let go, then smiled a little before putting the phone into his jacket pocket. Shortly after, Jungkook reappeared on social media. This time not with sentences, but with short videos that left the army speechless. In the video, he sits in front of a microphone, wearing a black hoodie and a deep gaze. He sang a new piece of music that no one had ever heard before. "Even if distance separates our steps, I can still hear your heart calling my name." Only one stanza, but the impact is incredible. Thousands of comments flooded the upload. Many fans burst into tears, feeling that the song was Jungkook's silent answer to Jimin's remarks in the interview. Even some Korean music analysts say that the tone and lyrics of the song contain emotions of loss and love that are still hanging.